Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
Starting. Oh, man.
Hello, Ed. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good, and welcome our audience. This is Ted and Ed TV show, and we want to welcome you today in joining us in a real interesting topics today. And I'm really excited about it this week because it's a lot of things that's been going on, and we welcome people to join in our conversation. So what's going on with you, Ed, today? You doing all right this week?
Oh, I am doing great. I had told the audience, and you and I both had said that we were going to try to have Ms. Shannon Wallace and stuff on today at one of our youth out there and try to get her viewpoints and stuff about what's going on in the world and what's going on with the high schoolers and stuff out there. But we've been having a problem trying to get Shannon on, so we'll try again next week. So anyway,
Okay. All right.
Anyway, man, it's this world, I guess this country is so crazy that
Yeah, we got a lot of hot topics, man. It's just crazy.
we have a lot of hot topics, man. This 45, he's something else. I have no idea what's on his mind, what's going on. But like I've been telling everybody around me, just keep doing what you've been doing, and hopefully we'll be able to be successful in whatever we're going to be doing, because we just cannot depend upon him to do anything right for us as a country. Now,
Yeah.
now he does have his people out there who support him, who are devout supporters of 45. And no matter what he does, they are going to support him. And he is playing to them all the time. He is on that bully pulpit. He's giving them what they want to hear. And I guess as long as he's giving them what they want to hear, he thinks that he is successful out there in his own mind. So
Hey, more power to him. I said, I mean, he can, we have people that are out there that's doing things and really coming together, different organizations, all kinds of politicians, business people. I mean, we even have our former President Obama, doing some things. And I just read an article, our former Vice President, Joe Biden, he's coming after Trump now. So the thing is that a lot of people are really upset because he's causing a lot of stress. One of the things that he just did, and I don't think that a lot of people know exactly how these things work, but maybe you can break it down for me, because the healthcare now, we understand that 45 has just eliminated some things out of the ACA. Now, what exactly is going on with that?
Hi.
oh man, there's Shannon. She's coming on. How you doing, young lady?
Okay, like I had to do it on my phone because my computer was not working.
Your computer is now working. Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to like sit it up really quick.
Well, you're gonna have to adjust your screen there so it sees your whole face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
pull it
gonna do
down
that
a
really
little bit.
quickly. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to like make sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
It's
Oh
set up so we
man,
can
you're
see.
looking good there.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on my computer, and like my dad was at work, so he really wasn't sure. Like, he was like, "Oh, it looks connected." I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't know."
Well,
So I
what
just like
did you
downloaded it on
do?
my phone.
What did you do?
I actually downloaded it on my phone. This is my phone.
Oh, this is your phone.
Um,
Oh my
it was,
goodness.
Yeah, I really wanted to do it, and I was really confused as to why it wasn't working. Everything said it's connected, but that obviously was not the case.
Yeah,
So,
you're gonna have to bring it down so we can see your face now.
yeah, I'm trying. I have a book up here. So okay, is that good?
That's
Yes,
perfect.
that's perfect. What is that? What is that pink thing sitting there in front of your
I'm
screen?
sorry.
You have a little pink thing that's sitting on your right side. There's something pink there
Oh, I'm
showing up.
sorry. That is a blanket. I am so sorry. Yeah, that was a blanket. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, Shannon, welcome to our
Yeah,
show.
welcome.
Thank you
This is
so much for
live here.
having me.
Yeah. Shannon, my name is Ted. I never had the opportunity to meet you over the phone or anything like that. How are you?
I, it's wonderful meeting you. I'm glad that I could
Yes.
meet you. I'm honored that you asked me to be on the podcast. Excited.
Okay. And one thing that, Ed was telling me that you are a high school student. So why don't you tell us a little something about yourself?
Well, right now I am a high school senior in just a public high school in Illinois. I do swimming and water polo. I am a part of our broadcasting program in our school. That includes what we call it VTV, but it's like a TV broadcast type of program. We also have the radio, and I'm part of the newspaper. I'm really interested in that, if you didn't know, and I want to major in that, along with getting a doctorate degree in English when I go off to college. I just actually applied to the University of Missouri. Hopefully, I'm going to get a decision pretty quickly, so I'm kind of nervous about that. I'm very active in school and service projects in and out of school. I'm in the multicultural club, which kind of expands on different cultures, which I appreciate. I think is very important to have that. And yeah, so that's what I do in school.
Great. That's fantastic. Now, it sounds like to me that you mostly want to be a journalist. I mean, a doctorate in English, right? Correct?
I am, yes.
And so, are you leaning towards uh, journalism, being a professional journalism or a journalist, or are you leaning, writing literature or something?
Well, I am definitely interested more in the broadcasting field, only because I think it's very important in this day and age, and that's what I want to major in first off. So that's broadcast journalism,
Okay.
being on the screen and everything. Um, English, I'm I think I'm a pretty good writer. I like to write, and I think writing is very important. Being articulate is very important, and I want to get doctorates in that just as a backup too. Like, quite honest, I think that's a wonderful backup to have because I can go in different fields with it. And I think I'm a good writer. It comes to me easily, and so I think I should get a doctorate in that. My mother thinks I should get a law degree along with that.
Oh,
So
wow. That is the quintessential of actually when you have a law degree, then anybody come after you, then you can be able to come back at them.
definitely, yes.
You
My
know what I'm
mother
saying?
is
Because
like,
I tell you,
you can write your own contracts. You can understand what they're saying. She doesn't want me
absolutely.
in any mess.
That's right. That's right. And if you're an excellent writer, like you say you are, then therefore you won't have any issues with
Absolutely.
anyone.
Right.
You won't have
Now,
any
I wanted
issues.
to, I wanted to ask you a question, Shannon. Why did you only pick the University of Missouri? Don't you have
Mm-hmm.
any other alternate schools that you're thinking about going to?
I've had that question asked me many times. I was considering different schools, including North Carolina. I'm sorry, FAMU in Florida. I was looking at the University of Arizona, but it all came down to Mizzou, or the University of Missouri School. It is one of the top schools in the country for what I want to major in. So I think that's very important. The diversity there, I really appreciate, and I go to a very big high school, so the bigness or the largeness of that college really doesn't bother me. as if it would other people. So I'm honestly just in love with Missouri. And so, and it
Oh,
gave me
okay.
the classical college campus type of feel. So I really wanted to go there.
So you never
I know
considered
it's kind of like
Northwestern,
a
did you?
eggs in one basket type situation, but I think they're giving me scholarship. So
Oh, okay. All right. You never considered Northwestern?
I'm sorry. Say that
Did
again.
you ever consider Northwestern?
Northwestern,
Northwestern.
actually, my mother was like, please choose. Well, no, she offered Northwestern to me. To be quite frank, I did want to leave the state of Illinois.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to leave. Northwestern is a good school. Please don't get me wrong. I just I did not see myself there, quite frankly, and I liked the vibe more at the University of Missouri rather than Northwestern.
Well, we hope for the best for you, and hope you get accepted there, and they're offering you scholarship money and all of that assistance.
Yeah.
So we hope for the best. But let me ask you a couple of questions, because
Okay.
for our audience that's not aware, what we try to do is bring on the
Wait, say that one more time. I'm
millennials.
sorry. I'm getting close to the screen just so I can hear you.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to get younger people involved, and we want to get their insight on what's going on and how they're feeling on what's going on in the country and in the world. So basically, what I want to ask you a couple of questions, or basically Ed and I want to ask you a few questions on what's your feeling about certain things.
Okay.
So we're going to ask you some quick questions on things that might concern you. Okay, and right now, one of the questions that is on our mind is right now in the corporate world, there's a lot of things that are going on for women, a lot of opportunities, but then there's also some drawbacks on that. What are your feelings about certain things that's going on in the corporate world for women?
Well,
Especially Black women.
that is a very broad question. Let me see how I'm going to answer this. I think corporate America is very interesting and it's very integral. It's not just applying for a job, it's everything that goes into it. Being a woman and knowing what women have gone through, because I'm a part of a family that has very strong, independent women. I think that there is a sense that women might need more help than a man, or that we need more coddling or hand holding in that type of business. That I think it's wrong, only because I believe that women are just as smart as men. I think we're a very strong gender, and I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this.
That's okay. Take your time. Because the one thing that what you just said is absolutely true. Because I'm sort of like I believe in what the Bible says. There's no male nor female. Everybody's equal. And so the male is and the female is no one just as smart as anyone else. However, the physical makeup as far as that goes, is a little different, but for the most cases. But I think that right now, what's going on, it's an attack, but then at the same time, there's a sort of kind of door is being open, and then at the same time, people are trying to get respect, and a lot of people are fighting that issue. And there's a lot of things that's going on that's really, to be quite frankly, unequal, and it's going to be a big fight. And Now, the thing is that you might say, yeah, well, what I believe that women is just as strong as men and really don't have to be catered to and what have you. But you always have to have a mentor, whether it's male or female. And preferably, you would want a female. But then also, if you get the right male, they can sort of kind of give you just as good of instructions and mentorship. So, do you have a mentor or mentors that you rely on?
Her mom.
Yeah.
her mom. Her mom is deeply into the corporate world, and she's a very good role model and everything for Shannon. And I think that uh, that she so far has done a great job in guiding Shannon into where she needs to go and give her some ideas about how women can excel out there in the corporate world. But hopefully, Shannon, if you follow in your mother's footsteps, I think that you are going to be okay. She's a very strong woman. I know that there are a lot of males out there who would like to have her position out there in the world, and I know she's constantly fighting to keep her position out there. But that's the world that we live in, whereas the corporate world, men have to also fight the same way. But being a woman of color, it's very difficult and everything for you guys to do what you need to do, and it's kind of hard for you all to keep looking back and saying, I'm being held back because I'm a woman of color, because there are women and stuff who are different color who are excelling out there. You have I spoke to Ted about Sheryl Sandberg, who is the CEO of Facebook. She did a conference before the Congress and stuff this past week talking about women out there in the corporate world. But there are a lot of women and stuff out there who are now excelling and stuff out there. I did a blog article this past week and stuff about 3 women of color who were out there in the startup world, and they were doing some big things and stuff out there as far as women being out there and being involved in startups and stuff. So if you get a chance to stuff, I would hope that you would read that article. And I also sent you a email and stuff this past earlier today about an article that I was reading out of the Wall Street Journal about what millenniums were doing.
I did take a brief look at it this morning before I got on the podcast.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I think it was very interesting. And I was blessed to have a mother that understood the corporate world, and she has told me some of her struggles to get to where she is at this age, at this time in life. The fight for equality, which I might add, it's not equal now, but more equality rather than like more equality now rather than later. I think it was long overdue. I think that women have been doing things that men can do or couldn't do for the longest, and for it to be recognized now that we can do the same things and have the same intellect as men, I think is a very important talk. I mean, I know there's been some arguments, well, there's just some jobs for men. I don't necessarily agree. I mean, for construction work, maybe heavy lifting, I could understand that part of it. But anything intellectual, I believe that a woman can do it just as well as a man can do, and that does not depend on color, like at all. I think that what somebody of my same intellect, somebody of my grade, my age, my time period can sit something in front of me to figure out and in front of a 17-year-old Caucasian male, and I believe that we could do the same amount of work in the same amount of time, personally.
Well,
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good. I have one question that I had put in my text to you about some of the topics, agenda items that we were going to talk about. And one of them was, do you feel that we will eventually have a female president?
Whew. I hope. I really do. But I'm willing to wait for it for the right person. I don't want a female under the mindset of, well, I'm going to be president and I'm going to be tougher on this subject just to prove that I can do what a man does, if that makes sense. I don't want a president that's a female that will get into office and be hard on this and hard on that and rude and a person that really doesn't know what they're talking about just to prove that they can do what a man can do. I want a woman that understands the law correctly, understands what times we're in, understand the right way to do things. And I think that person would be a wonderful person to lead the country. I think women have a different aspect and a different view on life when they're running something. So I think they can contribute to the country a little more than a man can, just to have a different view of things. I personally thought that Michelle Obama would be an excellent woman president because she understands. She's a very, she's an intellectual, which I appreciate. And she understands what the issue is today. And I wasn't really, hyped up about Hillary this election at all. I mean, I would obviously mind her more than Donald Trump. But Hillary Clinton, I think, was trying to do stuff and trying to be strong to prove that she could be as strong as a man, personally. So, yeah. I mean, she didn't really strike me as the first female president. I would take her as the first female president over Donald Trump any day of the week.
I think all of us would now. Well, we last year this time we were contemplating, and at least I was contemplating on if I should vote for Hillary or if I should vote for Donald Trump. And I was caught between really hard times and stuff. Was I going to vote for Donald Trump? Because I had no idea at that time that he was going to be the moron that he is now. But,
shame on you calling our president a moron.
Well, Lawrence, so Donald calls him a moron every day on his show on MSNBC. So I don't think it's
and did our Secretary of State do the same?
Yeah, there's no problem calling him a moron because that's what you call a snake a snake. But anyway, when I walked into the voting booth, Shannon, and I know you were too young to vote and everything, but when I walked into the voting booth, I did pull the lever for Hillary Clinton instead of Donald Trump. But I do feel that Hillary probably would have won the election if she had did a little bit more work and stuff out there and voiced her opinion and stuff a lot more and energized more people to come out and vote for her in those battleground states. Anyone who runs for election and stuff nowadays, Shannon, if you don't win Ohio and if you don't win Florida, very, very, very hard for you to win the presidency. And she didn't win either one of those states, which has a lot of electoral college votes. Even though she had almost over 3 million more votes than Trump did, she still lost the election because she never won those battleground states.
Right.
We have to do that. So
anyway, she didn't campaign.
Well, she didn't do a good job of campaigning, but The
No,
next
she didn't go to
time,
Wisconsin at all.
yeah.
How
Well,
you
the
gonna
next,
win the state and you don't even go to it? I mean, come on.
I
yeah,
mean, I think that people voted for Donald Trump because they really didn't like Hillary Clinton.
absolutely.
Personally, I know I heard a little bit. I heard that she lied and did some other scandals. I obviously I was not paying attention. I did, or I was really young, so I obviously had no input on why they were so angry with Hillary. I couldn't agree. I didn't understand how they were more angry at Hillary than Trump, personally, now that I'm understanding things. But I know that there was a lot of hatred toward Hillary Clinton. And they were like, well, she's horrible and she lied and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, my only answer would be like, but that would equal Donald Trump being in office. Let's just think about that. So I was not, I know she lost the battleground states. When I was looking at the election, like I was almost in tears. I'm like, if this man wins, this is going to be too much for me. And sure enough, I woke up and I turned on the news. And I'm like, and they were like, and the new, United States is, and when I heard the T, I turned my TV off. I was like, nope, nope, nope. I cannot even listen to this. I would not tune into this. This is foolishness. I could not deal with it
Yeah,
for like a week. I'm like,
it
can
was,
somebody impeach him or something? And I was angry, and I was like an angry 17-year-old, so nobody was like really like tuning into me, but I was really angry about this. And my mom was like, Shannon, they can't just impeach him in a week. But it was a very hot topic among me and my classmates. It was like a topic for 2 weeks on how do we feel about this. And I'm like, he is a fool, like a legitimate clown. And so no amount of hatred toward a woman lying will ever amount to the hatred I have for Donald Trump. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, the point is that I don't think you really, I wouldn't say I hate the man, but I can tell you this, is that when you look at his policies, you look at the things that he's doing, and he calls himself a Christian man, and he believes in God, the things that he's doing is just absolutely, to me, is absurd. So, but there's nothing we can do now about that because it's done. I mean, people are trying to impeach him. However, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, getting off of politics,
okay,
because what generation are you? Are you Generation X or Millennium or what? I don't quite follow that. I know I'm a boomer myself. So so what are you?
I don't. Personally, I'm not going to give you false information. I do not know. I know I was born in 2000.
Okay. So
that's what
I don't know, Ed. Do you know?
I cannot give you false information. I do not know. I did not follow.
It's like I know that they were saying Generation X, millenniums, boomers. So the thing is that your generation now, you went through basically your years with a president who was extremely articulate, very smart, and had reason. My thing is what are you going to do? What do you feel as though your generation, people in your age group, from 16, 17 to 22, 23, what do you think that, how do you feel as though your future holds in the world of business? And that is a general question, and I'm a pretty general person, simplistic. Your generation is going to do when it comes to the business world, because the business world now has changed drastically. And we know politics is already just went just crazy, and they don't make any sense now, politics. So right now, in the business world, when you get a college degree, and in my mind, you go there to really sort of learn some of everything so that you can be well-rounded, like, for example, music appreciation, calculus, going to different concerts and plays, listening to different kinds of music, and learning all kinds of things, history. So what is, but the thing is that in today's society, when you get out, you're going to want a job, or you want to start your own job. Do you have any idea or anything as far as your own mind in the future to start your own company?
No, to be quite honest with you, it's been suggested throughout my family that I should, that other family members of mine should. I know the importance of having your own business because you can make it how you want to, basically. Um, uh, I, I'm not. No, I did not think about it.
Well, I mean, you're only 17.
What you say?
You're only 17.
You're only 17. And there's a possibility that you can look into that because there's so many avenues that you can go as far as, becoming a doctorate, and then the possibility of a lawyer too as well, and having your own, you can, your own practice. You can do your own, even start a tutoring school, or all kinds of things you can do with that doctorate degree, especially English. But the reason why I bring that up is that it's just that is the wave of the future now. If you work for someone else, and if you're fortunate enough to get a corporate job, you would have to dance to their music. Now, if in so to speak, their policies, their procedures.
Right.
So that's something that I think that is a big push right now in people of color's movement now, entrepreneurship.
Right.
Are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with that. Actually, well, I knew what it was before this year, but I'm in economics now, and we're really do. I think it's wonderful. I think that if you are creative enough to become an entrepreneur, I think that's pretty great. I think that's more than and be successful at it. I think that that's more than any job. I think that's fantastic. We watch Shark Tank a lot, if you're familiar with that show.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that's pretty cool. Um, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've had an idea that I was like, this is revolutionary. I'm going to like make a company out of it. My mom was like, you should start your own practice, but I didn't think I could. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't I don't know. I I would kind of think like the Oprah way, not the Oprah way, but like go and make money and make money, make money and get known, and then kind of delve off to starting my own like TV station type thing. But going like fresh out of college, like applying for a loan to start our own company, I honestly wouldn't know what to do. I would be confused. So I was gonna get more experience, and then maybe think about it, but I wasn't really sure.
I got 2 questions that I want to finish up with, Shannon.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's a new thing now that's coming out in our technology world that is going to be
Mm-hmm.
taking over this country and the world for a long time to come, and it's called artificial intelligence. And I was wondering, how what do you feel about artificial intelligence and how it is touching you and your group and everything right now? And then once you finish answering that one, I just wanted to find out this one last question and stuff is, how does religion play a part in your worldview?
All right. Um, Firstly, artificial intelligence. I think that no robot can truly match the human brain. Like has its own type of way of moving, and everyone thinks a certain way. So I don't make a robot um, do that. I don't really agree with it. I actually saw a commercial which I thought was the funniest thing ever. 17-year-old, someone my age, but she was just starting to drive, and her father was in the passenger seat. He was freaking out. He was like, "Okay, fine, I'll parallel park the car." She's like, "No, Dad, I got it." And it was like, like a for a car, I believe. I don't know. It was like a Honda. I don't know. And she pressed the button, parked itself. It was quite funny because I had to learn how to parallel park a car, and my
Hmm.
dad lives in the city, so whenever I drove over here, like I had to learn how to do it properly. You could just press a button and do that. I wouldn't even trust a car to do that. Oh my gosh, it was never this is gonna crash. OMG, like I wouldn't have the patience for a car to park itself. And technology, I'm kind of spoiled with the technology now. It's like I can submit papers online, and she's like, I had to typewrite and everything, and when it comes to like the aspect of cars of a human, I would not go for my iPhone, my MacBook, my iPad. I can, if it can do what I want it to do quicker than I can, I'm gonna let it. But I don't think it can match or like in like technical, intellectual types of. I don't think it can do that personally. I don't think so. When it comes to religion, I think that in my religion wasn't isn't of an like an aspect as it was years ago when my mother was in where I am when she was 16 and 17. My grandmother ran the family. Like we were all going to church. All 7 of them are going to church. And I mean, of course, my mother brings me to church, and I like church. I don't have an issue with church, but I don't think it's as prevalent as it was back in the day. I don't think it has. I don't think it plays as big of a role in people's decision making. I think in this day and age, everyone's really in tune with like I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, or I believe in a God, but I don't know what the God is. Like they're very about the religion aspect. I know in the 1900s, like and earlier, honestly, it was big God, or like you had your different set regimens as to who you prayed for, who you prayed to. I believe in God personally. Some of my friends I know are just really just like going with the flow. They're very spiritual. Like I believe in a God. I'm kind of religious when it comes down to it. I wear a cross, but it doesn't really resemble anything. I think religion in general plays a big role, but I think it plays more of a role back then than it does now.
Okay. Well, Shannon, it was great having you on the program here.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
really enjoyed you being here, and I'm sorry that you couldn't get your MacBook to working right, and you had to use your iPhone. But you got on and you did it, so that was great. Hopefully, I'll finish up this video and everything, and I'll send you a link and everything and stuff to it. And then you can look at it and see what you can do to help out. And maybe sometime before the end of the year, you can come back on again and we can talk some more about your worldviews and how you feel as a teenager and stuff out there, because your voice and stuff is very well needed and stuff, especially out there for a lot of us who are looking forward to having you guys to be our future leaders.
Absolutely.
So thanks very much,
I
Shannon.
really appreciate you considering for me to, be on. The next time, I promise you, I'm gonna have my camera worked on.
Okay.
On my MacBook, but I really appreciate it. I think it was really fun.
Okay.
I love having this discussion, especially with people who are my age, because you have a different view of life. So I think it's important to hear that, and I really appreciate. I really do. I appreciate you not volunteering me, but asking me to be on. It was an honor.
Okay. Thanks, Shannon.
No
Thank
problem.
you, Shannon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Mr. Harvey. We just finished up with Ms. Shannon, and I thought she did okay, even though we were having a few technical issues and stuff there. But hopefully, the next time we talk to her, she'll be okay. And I'm looking forward to bringing on some other people and everything to come on our show and everything and talk to us and let us know how they feel. So hopefully, we'll do this again with someone else.
Yeah, we just need to apologize to our audience if we sort of kind of switched gears there, and because we had been trying to get a hold of Shannon and she was having some issues, and but I think it was well worth the interruption. Although we was getting hot and heavy on some
some other issues, but we're gonna have plenty of time to talk about those issues.
That crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next week, I guess we can follow up on some of the things. I'm sure we're gonna have some more issues going on. There's no question about that. So I'm looking forward to it. But one of the things that I did want to bring up before we close out, did you explain how that ACA is going to work with the president? I don't remember because when we got interrupted. Because I really think it's important for people to know that they just really should not be as concerned as they are.
Well, our 45 decided that he is going to try to destroy the Affordable Care Act through executive order. Now, what he is trying to do is very, very difficult. And I think a lot of people out there who are in politics and who are in the health industry and all of that, they saw what he is trying to do. And like we spoke about before, he is speaking to an audience of his own peers and stuff, people who will like him forever. But when you start using executive orders to do something, it sometimes has a reverse effect upon what's going to happen. He has told the insurance industry that he is not going to make those monthly CSR payments and stuff to the insurance companies, which they use. That money is being used by the insurance companies to help offset people's costs that they're going to have their when you walk into the doctor's office or whatever, you have a copay that you're going to have to pay. All of those things and everything are involved in those CSR payments. Well, in actuality, when the Affordable Care Act was first enacted in 2009, if everyone remembers, as the president and the Congress, the Democratic Congress, was trying to have a healthcare system out there that was going to take care of everybody, and it was going to change the way they were doing healthcare and stuff then, and how they wanted to make sure that everybody was insured. Well, one of the things they had to do was to get the insurance companies, the medical insurance companies, to pay people who were going to be the ones who were going to cover them, the people out there with their premiums. They gave them a payment. They told them that the government was going to pay them every month to make sure that they covered those costs and stuff that some of their policyholders could not cover because they didn't have the money to do it. Well, this is that payment and stuff that 45 is trying to cut off. Well, in actuality, and I shouldn't say this, but it was actually a bribe to the insurance companies to get them on board to do this. But the insurance industry and stuff also has another way that they're going to be getting this money and stuff, which if everybody looked at it and they saw how the news industry and the media and stuff looked at it and stuff, they told 45 that, yeah, you did this, but if you look at the news thing, they're going to tell them that, well, you just cost us another double payment and stuff here and stuff on this CSR. So because you took the CSR away, now the insurance companies and stuff can go back to Congress and stuff and get double that money and stuff from them.
Wow.
This is crazy.
That's crazy.
This is crazy how he is doing things without understanding the repercussions of what he is doing. He is actually costing the country more money by trying to cut off these payments and everything to the insurance company and trying to destroy the Affordable Care Act. One of these days, these Republicans and 45 will understand that the Affordable Care Act is like Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. It is ingrained into our economy.
So you're saying it's not going nowhere.
You're not going nowhere.
Not going nowhere.
So I would tell everybody out there, November, you go in there and you start applying for your medical coverage or whatever you need to do and go and try to pay it. If you're going to have to pay, and if he's causing you to pay a little bit more, then it's because your insurance companies and everything and stuff are trying to gouge their policyholders and stuff out of more money because they're still getting their payments and stuff from the Congress and stuff that he is trying to cut off. So I wouldn't worry about it, and I'm like, don't get excited because 45 wants to do something. We should not get excited. Just stay strong.
Okay. Now, the one thing that I wanted to bring up is this. 45 said that the stock market increased $5.2 trillion. Well, let me just say this, and then it's going to bring down the debt. Well, let me just say this. The private sector net worth increased from 2009 to 2017, almost $51 trillion. Okay? So he's saying that, because he's in office, he did 5.2 trillion. President Obama, while he was in office, he did over 51 trillion, almost 51 trillion. So there you go. That's almost 10 times as much. So anyway, I wanted to throw that out of there, and the thing is, the debt did go up 8.1 or 2%, $8.2 trillion under President Obama. But we know why that was. That was because he was still carrying 2 wars for 5-6 years.
Absolutely. And he cut those wars and stuff out, but we never did finish getting out of Afghanistan. And that was some reason stuff why we couldn't do that. But the Iraq war was shut down, and we don't know what's going to happen here with 45. His mind is not right to be a president of the United States. Matter of fact, his mind wasn't right as a businessman. When you file bankruptcy 8, 9, and 10 times and stuff just to keep yourself out there in business or whatever, you can't be
and make loans all over the world.
Absolutely. You can't be a good business person. You got to file bankruptcy. Something's going wrong, and people need to look back at what he has done to see what he's going to be doing now. Go back and look at Atlantic City and look at the boardwalk out there and look at all that place and how it's been destroyed because Trump came in there and raped the boardwalk and Atlantic City and stuff, took everything he could out of there and everything and just left them high and dry. Well, the same thing is getting ready to happen to this country if we don't do some things and stuff ourselves to stop what he is doing. But we have to be able to say to ourselves that anything that he does and stuff, just sit back and just think about it. Think about what the heck this guy has done. And don't get excited about it. Don't get all upset because he says he's going to get this done, because he does things without thinking about the repercussions of what has happened and what he's planning on doing. So just like these CSR payments and stuff and everything, nobody's saying a whole lot about it. All they're saying is that he's not making these payments and he's thinking that he's doing something real, real big. Well, if we look at what's going on, when Congress came in and said they were going to do the repeal and replace, there were people and stuff in uproar. They had all the sick people coming to Congress and putting them in wheelchairs and all that. Don't take my health care. Don't take my health care. Well, when he enacted this executive order where we're going to take away these payments, if you notice, nobody said a word.
Yeah. Nobody said a word.
Nobody rose up.
Now, the one thing that I don't know if you caught him on Fox News. He was on Fox News a couple of days ago.
Sean
and he was
Hannity.
talking about his tax plan. And he was saying that what we're going to do is we're going to bring the taxes down to 20%, and then our regular taxpayers are going to be paying 12%. And so therefore, there's going to be more money in everybody's pocket. And we're going to bring back a repatriate money that's overseas, all these businesses, they're going to come back. They're going to come back. And we're only going to charge them 10% for bringing that money back. I'm saying it's about $3 trillion over there. This is what he's saying. It's about $3 trillion over there to be taxed. And that money is going to come back and it's going to create more jobs. Now, that might be a possibility, but I think that that is not one of the reasons why. Taxes is one of the reasons, but another reason why is because, number one, they're trying to get that market share over there overseas, and their labor force is a whole lot cheaper than the United States.
Well, we also need to think about the fact that, yes, there are trillions of dollars that Wall Street has in their pockets, and big corporations like Apple and Amazon and Google and everybody else out there, Microsoft, who are storing their money outside this country. They're putting them in tax havens outside this country. And now he wants to try to bring that money back here and tax it. Well, that sounds like an excellent idea and a good idea, but the theory behind that is really flaky and false or whatever. And he needs to really actually look at it, because if anyone could have done that, our past president could have probably done that.
He offered it already. He offered
it. He's off. He did it also, offered them to bring the money back. But why would the banks and the other countries and stuff over there allow these people, these companies, to bring their money back here in the United States?
That's right.
They want to keep that money in their banks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're gonna do, if you go to the bank right now, and I got $1 billion and sitting in this bank somewhere or in whatever, the bank or whoever market fund or fund manager I got, they're going to do everything they can to keep that money in their hands, because they don't want me to take my $1 billion out of their bank.
Absolutely. And then plus on top of that, they're paying 10, 12% on their money.
Absolutely. So why would they bring that money back here? This guy is turning around here with the voodoo economics, and people are believing what the heck he has to say. And we need to be able to think about what we are doing, what he is doing, and how we are doing it. And as long as we keep our minds together, we're going to be okay. So anyway.
Well, with that, I think we have ran out of time. I mean, we appreciate Shannon for coming on, and we're looking forward to bringing her back again. And then some more younger people, you know, to get their insight, their views, their opinions, because the more younger people that we talk to, the more we learn.
Absolutely. Learn what's on their mind, because guess what, people? They are our future.
They are our future. They are our future.
Thanks, Ted. Thank you, audience.
All right. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks, Ed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.